Well, that was anticlimactic.
Halloween, one of the best times of the year, and that is an oddly specific case of grab a candy, put on a costume. Every year I would have something relating to the holiday, and I don't want to break the winning streak.
Okay, so while I play that game, let's talk about Kuon.
I can guarantee you that you've never heard of this game, and I haven't either. It was a recommendation at a game store a few years ago, and I thought, sure. I have an itch for this genre every so often, so let's give it a shot. This game originally released in 2004 exclusively for the PS2 and was developed by none other than From Software. I'm sorry, you know them from Bloodborne, I know them from Kuon. Now, this is not by any means their first adventure into something like this. The Adventures of Cookie and Cream? Get out of here. Now, the general gameplay is in a fixed third-person point of view in an extremely similar way to the earlier Resident Evil titles, and the main gameplay mechanic is stealth, which there's nothing stopping you from running the entire game, but that would attract more than you can handle, so it's just best to stay low. The game takes place in Kyoto, Japan, somewhere in between the 8th and 12th century, based around Japanese kaiden ghost stories. And you're primarily inside a mansion for most of the game, exploring different rooms, solving puzzles, finding key items, and making sure you don't die. Now, if GTA 5 got inspiration from this game, I wouldn't be surprised because we take control of 3 different characters. Now, the controls are fine, they work the bare minimum, but this game was criticized for the controls being sluggish, not responsive. How do you shoot Leon's gun again? Yeah, the game overall does have a slower pace, and switching between the knife and spell cards is excruciatingly long, but the game tries to keep you immersed with literal heart-pounding rumbles in the controller. The game does too much and too little at the same time. We have areas that can send off large amounts of negative energy, like at the beginning. Too much negative energy or low health, we can get vertigo. I knew Super Mario Galaxy could trick you, but I didn't think it'd become a core gameplay mechanic. The game is in a fixed point of view in a very similar fashion to the earlier Resident Evil titles, but now with a focus on depth.
Cool, please move on.
There is nothing about this game that screams fast-paced action. Do I want this game to be fast-paced where I have to react every single moment? Well, of course not, that would be stupid. But at the same time, I don't want to fall asleep, so I would say kinda. I like listening to fast-paced music, but I'm not going to go and beg Bohemian Rhapsody to match the speed of Nightcore. Now, why do I mention this? I feel like the slower pace complements that this game is a psychological horror game on a 4GB disc, and I've been on both sides of the conversation. One of them being is that it's a horror game through and through, and the other being it's action-paced bundled in, but still a scary aesthetic. Quite a bit of scares are from other ways like jump scares, shitting your pants. Half of them aren't even jump scares, and it gets my blood pumping like it is. On top of jump scares, this game is all about exploration and backtracking. So much so where I've been back and forth 50 different times and I still have no clue where to go. This is the main thing from this game and I just can't get around. Find my sister. I don't know where to go, I just keep walking until something new happens. I thought Resident Evil 4 had a lot of backtracking, but boy was I wrong. And with us having to limit our running as much as we can, this can take a while if we don't want to spawn ghosts.
I ran too fast.
You do have a map that kinda helps, but it really just boils down to, okay, so I've been here. Now let's try here. Navigation is not this game's strong suit. Now, what they did get right was the lack of mouth movement. I can see that is not where the budget went to, but the game really just throws you in there and welcome to Kuon. It could be that I'm just not used to this game throwing you in without any explanation or even an idea on where to go. I mean, look at Silent Hill F. This isn't my Silent Hill. We have different doors that are locked until you progress more through the game, which I found out that some of them are locked behind certain characters. Now, that's not a way to play the game. There would be 2 primary ways I would play this game. One is that I would be confused on where to go, or 2, I'd be creeped out what the this game can offer. Sure, I felt fear, definitely, and I was startled a few times, getting scared every once in a while, but about the 50,000th time I seen the screen go white because something happened in the game, it kind of loses its luster after a while. For a horror game on the PS2, sure, this fits in so well, but as a horror game nowadays, it will just fall flat on its face immediately. It's not bad with the controls following the direction with your thumbstick rather than the tank controls we've seen plenty of times before. Now, gameplay wise, you have different cards you can assign to shortcuts on your controller. The problem is, the spell and summoning cards are so useful if you need a quick scapegoat, but only then you have a knife when you run out, which that is the most used weapon for my inventory. Remember, I also put this on the hardest mode because if I wasn't a wimp before, I'm not a wimp now. And the only way for you to use a knife is by running out or not having anything assigned to one of the shortcuts, so that means if I want to conserve my cards, then I had to keep one on standby. This game was a trip to play, not the worst experience, definitely not the best either. I had fun playing it despite its quirks, so with Luigi's Mansion, Call of Duty Zombies, Five Nights at Freddy's, or Kuon. Does Resident Evil make the mark? I can't tell you what game you need to play during October. Have you seen Luigi's Mansion 2?
So this entire time I could have been playing Luigi's Mansion 2 instead of wasting a week on Kuon?